Welcome to this trailer. What am I doing? Review video of sorts. This is where I review books and that I have read and finished. And recently, I acquired the Trials of Apollo, not the Trails. The Hidden Oracle, Book 1. Granted, this book it's good. Okay, it's really, really good. I can't not say it's not good because it's good. It really is. I don't want to spoil too much, but I don't want to spoil anything big. But the way it sounds like is that this ties up all the loose ends from the Percy Jackson Olympians and the Heroes of Olympus series. At the same time, this book also is a little hint as to where you're going to be most of the book. This book takes place probably 80% inside Camp Half-Blood. If not more than that. Probably more than that, actually. Probably... Pretty much, this book takes place inside Camp Half-Blood once you get there. Once you get to Camp Half-Blood, they stay there the whole entire book. You do get to learn what the rest of the game's up to after the Heroes of Olympus series ended. I won't say anything. But we already know what Annabeth's doing. She's off in Magnus Chase World, family business. Cousins, you know. But we don't know what Percy's doing. We don't know what the Romans are doing. We don't even know what the other one's doing. Piper, Jason. Did Leo get back? Oh, what's his name? Frank? Yeah, Frank. My least favorite character. Well, I don't hate him, but I don't like him either. It's like John Cena. Or Roman Reigns. They just bore me. Like, I don't hate them, but they just bore me to death, so I got to. So, yeah, this book's really good. The pace is awesome. Like, I don't know why, but there's just something about... There's very few books, because I have, like, my attention span, like, when I do stuff, with video games, with YouTube editing, and all this stuff, to where reading kind of goes to the wayside for me. Which is probably why I don't come out with reading reviews left and right. Like I do my gaming content, or my Hunger Game, like easy vlogs, that kind of stuff. Like that's just right there. But with reading, you actually have to read the book, think about it, and then do the video. And with all the other stuff that goes on in my life, reading just gets thrown to the wayside. But there are very few authors that can grab my attention to where I can always find, where I always make sure I find time to come back to this book, come back to their book, and keep reading. And Rick Riordan is my favorite author for a reason. He is one of those authors. G.J. McHale in the Pendragon series, that was another one that I just couldn't get enough of. And I just kept finding time to read it and then getting to it. Also, the chapter titles being haikus. Clever. I'm gonna see if I can find my favorite one. No, I don't think it's that one. Definitely not that early. I wanna find this. Nope, not that one. Because it doesn't spoil anything in the chapter. Nope. Oh, come on, it was right there. Nope, not that one either. It'd be easier if they were just... No. I don't know, but it gets cut off. Wait a second, wasn't it like a very early one? I think it was a very, very early one. I know it was on the right side. Okay, apparently it wasn't a very, very early one. I don't know, but he gets cut off. I'm done looking for it. But the book's very good. In my opinion, it will tie up the loose ends. The action's a little more intense than you would expect. Like, going throughout the whole book, the action's kind of downplayed. Like, you don't get action like you do with the other books. Like, there's hardly any action, to be quite honest with you, in this book series. Or, well, within this book, I can't really say series, and this is the only one out. But you don't really get to the action until, like, 200 pages. I mean, you get to action, like, as soon as the book starts. But I'm talking, like, that Greek action. Yeah. Oh, that sounded weird. But you don't get to the Greek action until, like, the later half of the book. Because there's a game they play, and I wouldn't really consider that action because there's no fighting. There really isn't much going on. You get one great fight in the beginning of the book, and then you get one great fight at the end of the book. There's like 2 good fights in the whole entire book. Said good. It's not all. It's a good one. Because most of it has to do with Apollo's internal conflicts about being mortal now. Because he's a god. He's a fabulous son of Zeus. And then one lady. I forget her name. Leto. Yeah, Leto's her name. And now he's immortal and he has to deal with that. And his ego is like... His head is the size of the earth. If not Jupiter. He's really big-headed. He's one of the most arrogant guys. And throughout the whole entire book, it's him trying to cope with the fact that he's now immortal until he can prove himself with the trials of Apollo, which they do say in the book, by the way. That is, those words are in this book. I'm not going to say when, how early, or how late, or wherever it is, but those words are in this book, in the story itself. Somebody does say it. It's like it's dialogue. I will give you that. But yeah, I mean, the book, it's paced nice, even with how less action there is compared to the other books. Granted, this book's also 361 pages, which is shorter than the first ever Percy Jackson book. It's shorter than the last Percy Jackson book, and it's shorter than the fourth Percy Jackson book, and it's shorter than the entirety of the Heroes of Olympus series. Even the smallest book in that series was 500 damn pages. It's like 512 or something. Oh, it was around there. It was like 512, 513, 514. It was something like that. But this book, I'm kind of curious if this book series is going to be like the Heroes of Olympus series. As in, because the Heroes of Olympus series kind of progressed bigger, like lengthwise, except for the last book. I think the last book was one of the shortest. So there's that. But I wonder if this whole book series is going to be like 300 pages, or he'll bump it up to 400, maybe 500. So this one's only 361. He pretty much accomplished. Because the Apollo trials are him going after the oracles. I'm not going to say why. I'm not going to say how. But he has to find the oracles. And there's a lot more oracles out there than you would think. But yeah, that's pretty much the trials of Apollo. It's got good pacing. It's really humorous. Like, this is probably his funniest book yet. Like, I didn't think that was possible. Percy Jackson as a character, freaking Leo Valdez as a character, with how sarcastic his characters are in general. At least his best characters. But Apollo with his arrogance, it's just funny to see him transition into it and how he copes with it and everything. His new companion, she's an interesting character, and I actually quite liked her. And again, Rick Riordan with the plot twists, and I wouldn't really say... Although I will give him this. He did not end on a giant cliffhanger. He did not end on a cliffhanger that makes you want to kill himself. Okay. He ended very nice and sweetly. Something about the three of them walking off to camp. I'm not going to say who. But again, he's also got the... He's got that dictionary in there for us people who don't know Apollo. A Guide to Apollo Speak, which is basically the Greek weapons, words, and people that they mention throughout the book series. Like, if you don't know a name, odds are you can look in the back to the Guide to Apollo Speak, and they'll be here. Like, Ichor. What's Ichor? Because he mentions that in the beginning of the book. The golden fluid that is the blood of gods and immortals. Yes, I already knew that, but... Iris, Julian, Dynasty, Carpoi, Grain Spirits, Kronos, Labyrinth, Lamedon, Lepidus, Leto, Mother of them, Lupercalia, Medea, Midas, Minos, Minotaur, Mithridates. Now, they can be characters in the book, they can be places, they can be pretty much anything and everything that's Greek or Roman. Now that they've added the whole Roman dynamic. But honestly, this book series is just amazing, and I can't wait to get my hand on Demigod of Magicians. But I guess that's all I can say about the Apollo Trials without spoiling too much, other than the fact that it's a good book. I would definitely give it a read. If you really like Percy Jackson, and you're not fulfilled with Heroes of Olympus and the ending it gave you, then I don't know why you don't have this book. If you did, and you weren't satisfied with the ending, and you weren't going to get this book, I don't know why not. Especially if you got Magnus Chase. Magnus Chase doesn't even tell you anything about anybody except for Annabeth. Granted, she's my second favorite character in the book series, but I don't care. She's not Percy Jackson. I need to know what Boyd's up to. And Leo, come on. Everybody wants to know what Leo's up to. The dude disappeared. The dude freaking died. And then came back to life. Got Calypso, flew off into the sky, and that's all you know. That's it for this video. I give this book 15 out of 10. Not my favorite Rick Riordan book. That still has to go to House of Hades. House of Hades will almost probably and forever always be my favorite book in his entirety catalog of books. And he's got, what was it? 24, 49? I don't know. It was something numbered series. I don't know. But I don't think it was like something that came from his mind. It was something that he came to and asked to write, so he wrote them. It was like the clue something, the number something. I can't remember. And then he had the Percy Jackson, Kane Chronicles, Heroes of Olympus, Trials of Apollo, Magnus Chase, which Bo currently has. So I don't even have that book on me right now. Bo has it. But he should be coming soon. My mom will read this book, and by the time Bo gets here, this book will be for him to read. Because he's into this book series just as much as I am. So, hope you have a great day. Remember, only you can be the best you can possibly be. If you like the video, give it a like, comment if you do. This is special, awesome, subscribe, and maybe I'll shut up and stop rambling. Ta-ta!